Welcome back to the madness. Guys, what is going on with Greta Van Fleet? I just found them out just literally this week. They're kicking ass, man. Some people have a little bit to say about them, because they sound a lot like Led Zeppelin, Rush, and whatnot. I'll tell you what, more power to them. They sound awesome. They're killing it. New age, kind of rock and roll, bringing it back. I love it. So, either way, we're going tone hunting today, looking for their kind of tones, specifically for their song Highway Tune. So let's jump right into it. I'm excited about it. Let's get in. Alright, so in this tone hunting session, we've got a couple things going on here. Right here in the notes pad, we've got all the modules that I've used. And so we're going to start from here. The Brit 800, we've got the Brit JM45 jumped. We've got two different cabinets here, two 4x12s. One's a Brit 70s GB57 Alpha, and the other one's a Brit CB57 ML. And then it goes right into a PEQ, into a reverb, into a wah, straight out. This is my voice, don't worry about those. So we'll start right off with the amp, the top amp, and that's the Brit 800 mod. And I figured this time around I'll kind of go through each piece that might be useful for you and kind of describe what's going on. Alright, so we'll start right off with the Brit 800 mod, and what I'll do is I'll note any specific kind of parameters in here that are excessively important to the tone you get. Otherwise, whenever you can kind of chop across this video, if you notice that the tab has changed, stop the video, record all the parameters, or whatever floats your boat. So I will say that there's been a lot of people asking me for the tones specifically made from these videos, and I made a Patreon specifically for it. I'll put the link down in the description. Obviously, no obligations. This is just something that I did for fun, but people seem to want to get a part of it. So the drive is set to 3.46. I think that it's like that simply because I don't think this tone is really that gainy. While it does have a good amount of gain, it's not pushing out that sustain that some people want. So, and also the treble 6.83 does have quite a bit of high end, and the presence set to 4.29. We'll go down to ideal. The bright switch is on with a bright cap at 1000 picofarads. That's to give it that little bit more high end, a little bit more noise. And then kind of go down here to the preamp. Nothing excessively important here. Power tubes and cathode follower. There's a little bit of compression here. Harmonics set to 0.4. Grid clipping at 30% I mean. Power supply, sag. This is something that I did specifically. Now this is to get that flub on the low end. You want that stuff, especially with this kind of music. So set that bugger to 5.0 and copy the rest of these. Speaker, 113 low end. Copy as I go. Input frequency, flats. Output EQ, flats. And then dynamics, not too much tinkered with here. Alright, let's jump right to the next amp. Brit JM45 jumped. This is actually modeled after one of Marshall's least liked amps, but used here, specifically when it's in a parallel amp formation, sounds pretty gnarly. I like it a lot. Alright, so we got the treble drive down to 3.0. We've got the mids boosted a tiny bit, up 0.36 from the standard, and then the treble once again hiked up to 7.22. That's important. You want these high end because once you get to the PEQ, that's all that's left to adjust your frequency content in this setup right here. So keep on going. Ideal. We have a couple things not tinkered with. The bright switch is on, 100 picofarads on this one. So preamp is not on. Oh, here, I'll let you just take a picture. Take a picture, snap it. All right, power amp. Next, let's go. So we got this power amp is on, negative feedback slapped all the way to the right, guys. 10.0. We don't give a shit here. We're not messing around. That's why it's jumped, because we got it all the way up. It's just passing right by. Feedback all day. All right, so we got the X-Former drive to 1.20. All right, and here we got the grid bias set to 0.5. Excursion times up a bit, and recovery times up a bit. Compression set all the way to 74% nearly. All right, so we got a little bit of sag on this one. Just note that the B plus constant is down 0.4 milliseconds, from the last one. Also, take a picture because it's worth it. If you want to get all these, dead on, just snap. Oh, look at that, copy them all. Input EQ, good to go. Output EQ, also good to go. Dynamics, not too much tinkered with. The master bias excursion's at 100% in case the other one isn't. But look at that, they're the same. All right, cab. So we're at the British, we got 4X12 Brit 70s GB 57 Alpha, 4x12 Brit CB 57 MLs. So the point of these is that once again, they're intended to be these kind of British invasion Marshall stacks. You want that fat, ridiculous, kind of MIDI high-end tone with a little bit of squawking going on in here. So let's go on. You know, we got the preamp set to none. Room and air, I did this 25% at 2050. You want to do a little bit of math. It's especially cool to kind of get a specific note in there, because these frequencies, you know, they can be replicating notes, so the room reverberates in that way. In my cab video, I kind of go into detail about that. And then the align, I set them off a little bit, 10 millimeters. This makes a difference. Onward and upward, we're going straight to the PEQ. Now this is really a simple PEQ I made, and it was kind of to get that squawkiness, that mid-high end that is really kind of prevalent in the tone in Highway Tune. And that's to give you a 2050 roughly hertz, gain of 20, Q set to 2.51 about, and then it's a peaking filter. So that's all there is in this one. Nothing else is turned on, as you can see, 0, 0, 0, 0. All right, reverb, I got a drum room reverb. Ultra high quality, time is 0.42. Nothing too crazy here. Obviously, tinker with this as you will. I've kind of gone back and forth between drum room and music hall. Honestly, there is more reverb in the recording. I just happened to do this one the way I did because I just didn't want to have too much reverb when I was kind of messing around with it. So I think honestly in the recording there is a bit more reverb, especially in the vocals, especially in the drums. You know, this is the one part about this. This is like completely subjective, and I personally don't think that I nailed it right on the head with this. So I'll just let you know that right now. So wah, got the Crybabe, and this is controlled via a FC1 pedal, which is an expression pedal, and it's very useful in order to get the wah tune that you want. And I think that during some of these parts, and especially in the intro, he does kind of fluctuate the wah just a little bit, just to give it that little bit of squawkiness. So that's about it. That's all of the different modules. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, slap the like button real hard, like punch your screen if you want to. I really appreciate you guys sticking around. I've noticed that a couple guys have been kind of coming down and commenting quite a bit on every single video. I really appreciate that. Love that, guys, man. Really makes my day. So I'll catch you guys on the flippy floppy, and I'll catch you guys next week.